The door slammed shut with a thunderous echo, shattering the silence of the empty lecture hall as Callie hurled her backpack across the room, papers scattering like confetti from a failed parade. "I'm done. Just done with all this bullshit," she screamed, her voice cracking under the weight of another F on her transcript, the red ink mocking her from the crumpled page in her fist. But as tears blurred her vision, a soft voice cut through the chaos. "Hey kid, life's got more plot twists than a bad soap opera. Wanna talk about it?" Callie Harrington slumped against the cold brick wall of Harvard's Widener Library, the weight of her father's expectations pressing down harder than the stack of unread textbooks in her bag. At 21, she was the epitome of privilege, daughter of tech billionaire Marcus Harrington, whose empire spanned Silicon Valley to Wall Street. Yet here she was, failing every class for the third semester in a row. Economics, a disaster. Literature, she couldn't even pretend to care about Shakespeare when her own life felt like a tragedy. Her GPA was a sinking ship, and the dean's office had sent yet another warning letter, threatening expulsion if she didn't turn things around. It wasn't for lack of trying, at least not at first. Callie had tutors, study groups, even a personal assistant her father hired to keep her on track. But nothing stuck. Deep down she knew why. The suffocating pressure to be the perfect heiress, the one who'd inherit the family legacy and marry some venture capitalist's son to seal alliances. Her mother Elena, a socialite with a heart as polished as her diamonds, reminded her daily, "Darling, image is everything. Don't let the world see your cracks." But Callie's cracks ran deep, especially the secret she buried under layers of designer clothes and forced smiles, the fact that she was gay, and terrified to admit it. That fateful afternoon, as rain pelted the Cambridge streets, Callie ducked into the library's basement to escape a particularly brutal critique from her philosophy professor. The dim fluorescence buzzed overhead, illuminating rows of dusty archives. That's when she first noticed Rosalind Torres, the campus custodian, humming a soft melody while mopping the floor. Rosalind was in her mid-20s with warm brown skin, curly hair tied back in a practical ponytail, and eyes that sparkled with quiet wisdom. Her uniform was crisp, but her sneakers were worn from years of hard work. Immigrant dreams realized through sheer grit. "Sorry, miss, didn't mean to startle you," Rosalind said, pausing her mop as Callie nearly slipped on the wet tile. Her accent carried hints of Puerto Rican roots, softened by Boston living. Callie waved it off, embarrassed. "No, it's fine. I'm just avoiding reality." Rosalind chuckled, a sound like sunlight breaking through clouds. "Reality's overrated sometimes. Name's Rosalind. You look like you could use a coffee break. There's a machine down the hall. My treat." It was an odd invitation from a stranger, but something in Rosalind's easy kindness pulled Callie in. They sat on a bench in the quiet corridor, sipping bitter vending machine coffee. Callie vented about her classes, her family, the endless charade. Rosalind listened without judgment, sharing snippets of her own life. Growing up in a tight-knit family in San Juan, moving to the U.S. at 18 for better opportunities, working nights to put herself through community college before landing this job at Harvard. "You're living the American dream," Callie said wistfully. "I'm just failing at it." Rosalind shook her head. "Nah, Mija. The dream's what you make it, not what someone else scripts for you." Those words lingered with Callie long after they parted. For the first time in months she felt seen, not as the Harrington heiress but as herself. Over the next weeks their encounters became routine. Callie would accidentally wander into areas Rosalind cleaned, and they'd talk. Rosalind shared stories of her abuelita's wisdom, of marching in pride parades back home, of loving fiercely despite the world's judgments. She was out and proud, unapologetic about her identity as a lesbian in a world that often pushed back. Callie envied that freedom. One evening, as they watched the sunset from the library steps, Callie confessed, "I think I might be like you, but my family would disown me." Rosalind took her hand gently. "Then maybe it's time to own yourself first." Their friendship deepened into something more, tentative touches turning to lingering glances. But shadows loomed. Callie's father was pressuring her to date Ethan, the son of a business partner, to secure the future. And whispers on campus about the rich girl slumming it with the janitor began to spread, fueling Callie's insecurities. As winter break approached, Callie faced a crossroads. Her grades were still abysmal, but Rosalind had started tutoring her. Not in textbooks but in life lessons. Read between the lines, Callie. What's the story really saying about human connection? She'd ask during late-night study sessions in empty classrooms. One night, after a heated argument with her mother over the phone, Callie sought refuge in Rosalind's small apartment off campus. It was modest, filled with plants and family photos, a stark contrast to the Harrington mansion. There, under the soft glow of string lights, Callie leaned in for their first kiss, a spark that ignited everything she'd suppressed. But joy was fleeting. The next day, a tabloid photo surfaced, Callie and Rosalind walking hand in hand. Her father's furious call came immediately. End this nonsense or you're cut off. The scandal erupted like wildfire across social media. Hashtags like Harrington-Eris drama trending overnight. Callie's phone buzzed incessantly with notifications. Friends texting faux concern, reporters digging for dirt. She holed up in her dorm, blinds drawn, ignoring Rosalind's worried messages. This is what happens when you step out of line. Her mother had sneered during their confrontation via video call. Elena Harrington, ever the image keeper, had already spun a narrative to the press. Our daughter is going through a phase, influenced by unsavory company. Rosalind, undeterred, showed up at Callie's door with takeout from her favorite Thai place. We don't hide, Callie. That's what they want, to make us small. But Callie was terrified. You don't get it, Rosie. My life, it's all tied to them. Money, status, everything. Rosalind's eyes softened with pain. And what about your heart? Does that count for nothing? Their argument simmered into a fragile truce, but the divide grew. Callie threw herself into studying, desperate to prove she could salvage her academics without distractions. Rosalind respected the space, but the distance ached. Meanwhile, Ethan, the arranged suitor, ramped up his pursuit, showing up uninvited to study dates, orchestrated by their parents. He was charming in a polished way, tall, blonde, future CEO material, but his touches felt like chains. One crisp February evening, during a campus event for Women's History Month, Callie spotted Rosalind in the crowd, volunteering as always. Their eyes met across the room, a silent pull stronger than gravity. After the speeches, they slipped away to the quad, snowflakes dusting their shoulders. I've missed you, Callie whispered. Rosalind pulled her close. Me too. But we can't keep playing hide and seek with our feelings. That night, they recommitted, vowing to face the storm together. Spring brought tentative hope. Callie's grades improved, not dramatically but enough to stay enrolled. Rosalind's influence was subtle. She taught Callie to connect with the material on a personal level, drawing parallels to real-life struggles. In sociology class, Callie wrote a paper on class divides and identity, earning her first B+. But betrayal lurked in the shadows. Callie's roommate, Sophia, a social climber who'd always envied her wealth, had been the one to leak the photo. Sophia confessed tearfully one afternoon. I thought if your dad found out, he'd pull you out and I'd get the room to myself. Plus, Ethan promised me an internship. The revelation shattered Callie. You sold me out for a job? Sophia's apology fell flat, and Callie moved out, crashing temporarily with Rosalind. Living together, even briefly, was a revelation. Rosalind's world was grounded. Cooking family recipes, dancing to salsa in the kitchen, sharing dreams of opening a community center for LGBTQ youth. Callie blossomed, volunteering at a local shelter, discovering passions beyond her father's boardrooms. Yet the pressure mounted. Marcus Harrington flew in for a family intervention, booking a suite at the Ritz-Carlton. Over a tense dinner, he laid it out. This fling ends now. You're coming home to California, interning at the company, and you'll marry Ethan. It's good for business. Callie stood her ground for the first time. Dad, I love her. And I love myself enough to choose happiness over your empire. His face reddened. Love? That's naive. You'll regret this when you're penniless. He cut her off financially that night. Credit cards frozen, tuition threatened. Callie returned to Rosalind in tears but resolute. We'll figure it out. Together. Summer arrived with uncertainty. Callie took a part-time job at a coffee shop, her first real work. Rosalind picked up extra shifts, their evenings filled with quiet intimacy. Walks along the Charles River, sharing ice cream under starlit skies. But cracks formed. Financial stress led to arguments, Callie's lingering doubts about her identity bubbling up. One humid July night, after a fight over bills, Callie stormed out. She ended up at a bar, where Ethan coincidentally appeared. "Your dad's worried," he said, buying her drinks. In her vulnerability she confided too much, and Ethan twisted it, planting seeds of doubt. "Rosalind's just using you for a thrill. Come back to your world, it's safer." The next morning, hungover and ashamed, Callie returned to Rosalind. But rumors had already spread. Sophia, ever the opportunist, posted online about seeing Callie with Ethan. Rosalind confronted her. "Is this true? Are you ashamed of us?" Callie denied any betrayal, but the trust was frayed. They took a break, the word hanging heavy like storm clouds. Callie moved into a cheap sublet, throwing herself into summer classes, determined to graduate on her own terms. The leaves turned fiery red as Harvard welcomed back students. But Callie's heart felt like winter. She and Rosalind exchanged polite nods in passing, Rosalind still cleaning the halls where their love had sparked. The separation was agony, a constant ache. Callie aced her midterms, her focus sharpened by pain, but success tasted hollow without someone to share it. One rainy afternoon, in the same basement where they'd met, Callie found Rosalind sorting recyclables. "Rosie, can we talk?" Rosalind sighed, wiping her hands. "What's left to say? You pulled away when things got real." Callie poured out her soul. The pressure, the fear, the momentary weakness with Ethan that meant nothing. "I was scared of losing everything, but I realize now you're my everything." Tears glistened in Rosalind's eyes. "Scared is okay. Hiding isn't. I need someone who stands proud beside me." They reconciled tentatively, rebuilding brick by brick. Thanksgiving brought new trials. Callie, estranged from her family, spent it with Rosalind's relatives in a cozy Boston brownstone. Tia Maria welcomed her with open arms, dishing out Eras candles and stories of her own coming-out journey. "Love wins, Mija," she said, hugging Callie tight. Inspired, Callie came out publicly in a campus blog post. "From heiress to authentic, my journey to self-love." It went viral, drawing support and backlash. Her father responded with silence, but her mother sent a cryptic email. "Think about what you're destroying." The high came crashing down when Ethan, spurned and spiteful, leaked private texts to the press. Messages where Callie vented about her family's control. Headlines screamed, "Harrington heiress bashes billionaire dad in gay scandal." Marcus retaliated by pulling funding from Harvard programs, indirectly affecting Rosalind's job security. Rosalind faced scrutiny at work. Whispers reduced hours. "They're saying I'm a distraction," she confided one night, curled on the couch. Callie felt guilt twist like a knife. "This is my fault. Maybe we should."
No, Rosalind interrupted fiercely.
"We fight. Together." They rallied allies. LGBTQ groups on campus organized protests against discrimination, drawing media attention. Callie used her platform to advocate, speaking at rallies about class privilege and queer rights. Her grades soared as she channeled emotion into essays on social justice. But betrayal struck again from within. Rosalind's ex, Carla, a fiery activist from her past, reappeared. Carla, jealous of their bond, whispered poisons. "She's slumming it, Rosie. When the novelty wears off, she'll run back to daddy's money." Rosalind dismissed it at first, but doubts crept in during a heated argument over Callie's lingering ties to her old life. "You still check your trust fund app, Callie. Are you really all in?" Hurt, Callie lashed out. "And you're so perfect? Carla's been texting you. Don't think I haven't seen." The fight escalated, doors slamming, words like daggers. Rosalind stormed out, seeking solace with friends. Callie, alone, spiraled into self-doubt, questioning if love was worth the chaos. Weeks passed in tense silence. Christmas lights twinkled mockingly as Callie wandered Boston Common, snow crunching underfoot. She bumped into her mother, who was in town for business. Elena, bundled in fur, looked vulnerable for once. "Your father's stubborn, but he misses you. This lifestyle, it's not what we planned." Callie stood tall. "Plans change, Mom. I'm happy. Or I was." Elena's eyes softened. "Happiness matters. Maybe more than image." That conversation planted seeds of hope. Meanwhile, Rosalind grappled with her own demons. Carla's advances were rebuffed, but the encounter forced clarity. Callie was her future. On New Year's Eve, as fireworks lit the sky over the harbor, Rosalind showed up at Callie's door with a bouquet of roses. "I was wrong to doubt us. Forgive me." Callie pulled her inside. Their kiss a promise renewed. But fate twisted again. The next day, news broke of Marcus Harrington's health scare. A mild heart attack. Callie rushed to California, Rosalind by her side despite protests. In the sterile hospital room, Marcus looked frail. "You came," he rasped. "Of course, Dad. Family matters." Rosalind waited outside, but Marcus summoned her. "You. Make her happy." Rosalind nodded firmly. "More than anything." He sighed. "Then maybe I've been wrong." Reconciliation was slow, but it began. Marcus reinstated Callie's support with conditions: therapy, open dialogue. More importantly, he attended a family counseling session, admitting his fears stemmed from his own closeted youth, a revelation that humanized him. As graduation approached, tensions simmered beneath the surface. Callie's capstone project, a thesis on intersectionality in modern America, earned accolades, but personal storms brewed. Sophia, seeking redemption or revenge, spread rumors that Rosalind was only with Callie for financial gain. The whispers reached Marcus, who despite progress harbored doubts. During a family visit to Cambridge, he confronted Rosalind privately. "What's your endgame?" "My daughter's inheritance." Rosalind's voice steadied. "Sir, I love Callie for her heart, not her wallet. I've built my life on my own terms." Marcus grumbled but backed off, impressed by her resolve. Yet the seed of doubt infected Callie anew. One evening, over dinner at a quaint Italian bistro, she voiced it. "Dad's words. Do they bother you?" Rosalind set down her fork. "Only if you let them. Trust me, Callie." But trust was fragile. When Rosalind received a job offer at a prestigious New York nonprofit, better pay, advancement, Callie panicked. "You're leaving?" "Just like that." "It's an opportunity," Rosalind explained. "We could make it work. Long distance at first." Callie saw it as abandonment, echoing her fears. "Or is it an escape from my drama?" The argument spiraled, old wounds reopening. Rosalind accepted the job, moving to NYC in May. Callie stayed for graduation, heart heavy. The ceremony was bittersweet. Her parents attended, proud smiles masking undercurrents. As she walked the stage, she scanned the crowd for Rosalind, who wasn't there. Post-graduation, Callie interned at a San Francisco startup, her father's olive branch. But loneliness gnawed. Phone calls with Rosalind grew strained, schedules clashing. Then came the ultimate betrayal. Scrolling social media, Callie saw photos of Rosalind at a pride event, arm around Carla. Captions gushed about rekindled flames. Devastated, Callie flew to New York unannounced. Confronting Rosalind in her Brooklyn apartment, tears flowed. "How could you?" Rosalind's face paled. "It's not what it looks like. Carla crashed the event, we're just friends. I blocked her after. But the damage was done. I can't keep fighting shadows," Callie sobbed. They parted in anguish, a breakup that felt like ripping out roots. Callie returned to California, throwing herself into work, numbing pain with endless hours. Her mother, surprisingly supportive, encouraged therapy. "Heal, darling. Love comes in waves." Months blurred into a routine of board meetings and solitary evenings. Callie dated casually, women who fit her new life, but nothing stuck. Deep down, Rosalind's lessons echoed. Live proud. A year later, at a tech conference in Boston, fate intervened. Callie presented on inclusive workplaces, her speech raw with personal anecdotes. In the audience, Rosalind, now director of her nonprofit. Afterward, they met in the lobby, air thick with unspoken words. "You were amazing," Rosalind said softly. Callie smiled faintly. "Thanks. How's life?" "Busy. Lonely." Rosalind hesitated. "I never stopped loving you." Callie's heart raced. "Me neither. But we hurt each other." Rosalind nodded. "We were young, scared. Maybe now we're ready." They spent the weekend rediscovering each other. Walks in the public garden, honest talks over coffee. No more hiding. Callie introduced Rosalind to colleagues as her partner. Back in California, Marcus met them for dinner. "You've grown," he told Callie. To Rosalind, welcome to the family. The reconciliation was profound, a testament to change. Callie and Rosalind moved in together in a cozy San Francisco loft, blending worlds. High-tech days, community nights. They volunteered at Pride events, mentored youth, their love a beacon. But life tested them again. Rosalind's mother fell ill, requiring care in Puerto Rico. They relocated temporarily, Callie leaving her job to support. In the island's warmth they deepened bonds, learning Spanish together, cooking with family. Upon return, Callie started her own venture. A foundation for queer education, funded partly by her inheritance but driven by passion. Rosalind partnered, their synergy unstoppable. As years passed, their story inspired others. A tale of failure to freedom, betrayal to trust. On their 5th anniversary under Golden Gate Bridge lights, Rosalind proposed, "Marry me, and let's keep writing our story." Their wedding was intimate, on a Napa Valley vineyard. Friends, family, no paparazzi. Marcus walked Callie down the aisle, Elena beaming beside him. Rosalind's familia added vibrant flair. Salsa dancing, toasts in 2 languages. Vows exchanged under a floral arch, promise forever. Through storms and sun, proud and true. Honeymoon in Puerto Rico sealed their bond, beaches whispering secrets of resilience. Back home they adopted a rescue dog, naming her Liberty, a symbol of their journey. Challenges persisted. Media scrutiny, societal biases. But they faced them head-on, advocating through their foundation. Callie published a memoir, Proud Steps, From Privilege to Purpose, donating proceeds to LGBTQ causes. It topped charts, humanizing their drama. One evening years later, as they watched sunset from their balcony, Callie reflected, "Remember that lecture hall meltdown?" Rosalind laughed. "How could I forget? It led me to you." Their love, forged in fire, endured. K-dramatic, emotional, romantic, humane. In America's tapestry they wove a thread of hope. That authenticity triumphs, even amid betrayal and doubt. Callie's transformation was complete. Not just academically but soul-deep. Rosalind had taught her to live proud, and in return, Callie showed Rosalind the power of vulnerability. As parents to a adopted daughter years on, they instilled those values. Love freely, stand tall. Their story, once a scandal, became legend. A reminder that from failure blooms freedom. In quiet moments they'd hold hands, grateful for the custodian who mopped away despair, revealing a path to self-love. America's dream redefined. Not wealth but worth. And so their happily ever after wasn't perfect, but profoundly real. A testament to hearts that dare to beat true.